What's up, everyone? Mucky's here. JD's there. It's been a really shitty week for me. Um, Everything sucks. I don't really know what to say. It just seems like everything I'm doing lately has been wrong in the market. So, hoping to take the long weekend and refocus on some things, come up with some new ideas. How's it over there in the yield curve world?
It sucks, but I got to take a phone call, so talk for a second.
No problem. I definitely know how that goes when things aren't going the way that you want them to go. Um, what's been killing me this week is, just Apple is up down, not really moving. Same thing with kind of 3M, which were my two pretty big positions. Um, Closed out a lot of my shorts in Upstart last week, so I'm not getting the win off that. I did add some energy plays, some little tiny junior oil miners in Canada to the overall portfolio, and just trying to grind those in. But overall, I'm just losing. Losing on marijuana, losing on losing a lot in marijuana. Just getting drubbed in that. I don't know, just kind of looking for some edge, not really seeing anything out there. That's the problem. Um, Always trying to protect, the margin and what I have available. But for me, it's just it's kind of a weird week and something that I'm just not sure on where we're going. I think uh, I think we still see a big hike in May. So well,
Really? Did you read the ECB report today? I mean, I can listen to two things at once.
I
Skills of a pit trader.
I did not read the ECB report
Well, you
today.
probably should. It's interesting because it came out as dovish as I can imagine, and yet we sold the piss out of the back end of the yield curve.
That's weird.
Oh, that is weird, isn't it? I actually have no idea what the hell's going on, to be very candid.
I
But a
I
three handle, almost four handle move in the ultra bond. It's it's five handles, five and a half handles, top to bottom, and the back end of the Fed funds only came off 8 ticks. It's not even at the low. The December 22 contract isn't back to the low that it put out 2 weeks ago. Um, Something feels wonky. Help me. Somebody help me. Somebody come and tell me what the hell's going on in the yield curve. I don't know what you just said for the first half of your little diatribe there, but yeah, your week was bad. Yep. I'm uh, I'm in the middle of shopping a new trade.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I need a new home. Um, we I might be getting back with one of my one of my old Twitter buddies,
Oh
who
wow.
we won't mention on here for the time being. But we watched Vol just get obliterated. I'm a long Vol player. I'm a long Gamma trader. Gamma worked, Vol did not. It was just ugly. I mean, yesterday I think they took 9% out of the VIX. That thing got absolutely obliterated.
Yeah. Um. I, I yeah. I just don't get it. I mean, it's kind of almost to the point of, for me, just kind of sitting back until people figure out what they want to do. But um, it's weird that ECB would be so dovish when our Fed governors are so hawkish. But I don't really know what we can do at this point. Um, I don't feel like supply chains are going to get fixed, especially with China locking themselves down again. Um, there's just so much weirdness going on that I feel like we're going back to the beginning or towards the end of 2019. So I feel like we might just get, I don't know, can we have another COVID lockdowns? Can we have another, limit down, limit up, limit down, limit up for like 4 weeks straight again?
You won't see another COVID lockdown because you have midterms coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, this is my opinion. If you follow my Twitter, you'll know that I run a thread that I haven't posted on for a while called Conspiracies. But in my opinion, COVID is the flu. Not saying that it didn't hurt people, not saying that it's hyped up overly, whatever. You should put whatever you want on it, but you're not going to see a COVID lockdown if you're in a contested state that has a midterm election and you don't want to lose. You're not going to see it. You'll see anarchy first. So
that makes sense. I don't know, man. It's dude, there's so much weirdness going on. A lot of my normal things that I can count on them, like stocks, like Apple moving, marijuana seems to move in chains, but it seems like anything. It just seems like everything's getting kind of sold across the board lately. I know Gamma on the overall market has been flip flopping between positive and negative. I don't know. I don't see a rally coming today, especially with a long weekend tomorrow. Yeah,
I mean, I don't anticipate. We talked about this with Bob last time. I said that the top 12 companies that make up the indexes are holding up everything, while everything else is just a dog shit. Everything else looks horrible. Whatever. Call it what you want, but mid caps. There's a guy on here who trades mid caps on Twitter who I follow, mids and micros, and he does great. And his stuff is just in the gutter. You're like, oh yeah, okay, that's really weird. So yeah, everything's garbage right now, except for the big boys. What do you think of the Elon Musk "Let It Burn"?
I just watched his TED talk and they asked him if there was a plan B. He said there is a plan B. If he doesn't get Twitter, I didn't think he would ever, in my opinion, I didn't think he would ever join the board. I think they kind of did hey, we'll give you a board seat so you don't buy us out. I think he's not a guy who likes to be told what to do. So I think he's going to try to take him out. And if either accept my bid or I'll take you out hostilely. I think he can get the capital. I don't think that's a problem. I mean, someone will come in, Silver Lake or someone will come in alongside him as long as he takes a big chunk of it. But what is he now? He's the richest guy in the world with 140 billion. So let's say he spends 50 billion of that to buy Twitter and brings back Donald Trump, brings back all the permanently banned accounts like Just Muck Bear. I think it helps. I don't know.
What do you think his plan B is? It can't be hostile takeover, is it? Really?
I mean, I think there's two, right? I think he has two. I think there's two plan Bs. Hostile takeover are buy one of the right-wing social media platforms and just make an uncensored Twitter. If you bought Truth Social and brought it under him and ran it how he wanted to do, I think it would be a legitimate counter, or at least a legitimate could go up against Twitter. I don't know if that is a plan B, but I mean, he's notorious for doing things his own way, and crazy doesn't not fit him. So I think he could be like, okay, they have a platform. Let me get my tech guys in and go with it. I mean, he's pretty much taken over NASA. So he can take over social media.
I guess I'm not disagreeing with you, but for somebody who owns just under 10% of the company, if you hit the sell algorithm, you kill the company.
What if it's like what if the board says we don't want you anywhere near us, and it's like kind of like a green mail thing where the board pays him like maybe $50 a share to get all his shares back and get him the F out, and then he takes that money and goes and buys out a True Social outright or something like that, or takes that money that he got from the 10% and maybe buys Facebook's like timeline from them, since they kind of want to get out of that industry a little bit.
Maybe.
We talked about Facebook going private like a couple times ago.
Yeah, if I was Zuck, I would take Facebook private. It way, stop letting regulators look at you.
But maybe this is a way. Maybe Elon goes, hey, if I don't get Twitter, what if I come in with you and we take Facebook private together?
I don't think he has any interest in Facebook. I actually think Facebook is a pile of shit.
Well, I was just saying, I think Zuck wants the other things of Facebook, and maybe Elon would take the, like the timeline feed and the posting part of Facebook, and then you would, kind of get like an Alphabet Google situation where Zuck would run over here, and then Elon would have the competition to Twitter. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can't do that. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like a guy like that has these guys on speed dial and could work something. I feel like there's crazier things that could happen out there. What do you think? Do you think the board just, I mean, it's not above its 52-week high, but it's still above where it's trading now. Do you think the board would agree on it, or do you think they're just going to instantly say no today?
Oh, dude, I think the board's scared shitless. I think the board is terrified of what's coming because they also know that Elon will fire every single employee on that management team. Dude,
Probably.
Twitter is not profitable, and they can't figure out a way to make it profitable. They have not been able to get this thing to work.
And the new CEO that took over for Dorsey kind of said that we don't really care about free speech. We care about what we care about at Twitter. So we're gonna, and they have been taking out more accounts left and right. So I don't know, like it's hard to be profitable if you nuke accounts that have kind of big followings because you don't like what they're saying.
100% agree. 100%.
It's a weird. He just took from the fact came in. I guess in my opinion, the board should have known being confrontational right away with Elon is not going to get them to get him to leave them alone. And that's not how you do it with that guy. It's not. I don't think that's how you do it with a lot of guys.
Well, now they got their panties in a twist, so they're gonna have to figure it out.
And question for you, I don't think he does, but do you think he cares if any of the employees, if like a lot of the programmers and stuff like that quit because he takes it over?
No, not necessarily. I don't think. I saw somebody that I randomly follow or popped on my timeline had said, it's interesting that Elon got really upset when everybody at SpaceX was waiting in line, when the employees at SpaceX were waiting in line to get coffee. And so he told everybody no more waiting in line. And then he installed cameras and stopped everybody from waiting in line. It's like, oh yeah, you can't just be a little woke employee and wander around and hope everything works out for you. This is going to end differently.
Yeah. Like That's weird. So now you have to go get coffee when someone else isn't there. It's more productive.
Interesting, huh?
I don't know. Well, that's a way to do it. I feel like you maybe spent more money installing cameras to watch people than you got. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's definitely interesting. He has a management style that's very eclectic.
Yeah, I mean, where do you put him in the conversation of smartest people out there right now, or best business minds out there?
Um, Probably in the top 10.
Yeah.
Like, um, a lot because I mean, he's the only billionaire actually doing something with his money. I mean, like Bezos is doing, the space tourism thing, but um, I feel like Elon's like, hey, I have this money. What do I want to buy? What do I think is better? Um, this would make more sense if he could ever run for president, but since he can't, I don't know what the overall end game in buying Twitter is for him.
Why can't he run for president?
His parents are not American citizens, so he's not a naturally born American citizen.
Neither was Obama.
I mean, I don't know about that one. I mean, Ted Cruz is Canadian, but his mom is American, so he got in. But Elon's dad is South African, and his mom is a model from another country, not our Canada, maybe. I don't know.
Sure.
But I would get it, right? You buy a platform like Twitter, and then you announce your candidacy. It would go good. You know, Elon Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Again, all those are good ideas. I'm not convinced that I'm not convinced he even cares about Twitter. I'm more convinced. I think what he really wants to do is I think he wants to establish some type of, I don't know. I don't know what he wants. That's it. I don't know anymore. I'm done.
I think that's kind of like where I'm at with it. I'm almost at that point with the market now where I'm just like raising a little bit of capital, keeping everything going, and try to wait for it to figure out what it wants. I think it's afraid. I almost feel like no one cares about what the Fed's going to do in May because we keep finding other things to talk about. But the other day I put the over under, I think it was on Tuesday, I put the over under on how many times CNBC would say recession at 1,000. And I think the over got there.
Really?
So, yeah, I mean, it just in like about 30 minutes after the CPI numbers came out, like recession was said like 14 times. I don't know. I always feel like whatever gets pushed on CNBC and Bloomberg, the opposite's going to happen. I just don't
Yeah.
see.
Do you follow the anti-Kramer guy on
Yeah.
Twitter?
Yeah. There's a couple of them. There's a Kramer tracker that every time his show ends lists what he said and what his buys and what his sells were, so you can always do the opposite. I mean, I don't know. It seems like it could work. It could also not work. And I mean, there's an inverse Kathy Wood arc.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty cool.
So, yeah, she was not happy about that in her interview live on CNBC the other day. She was like, I don't know how someone could just inverse my company. And I was like, well, I mean, they can. You're an ETF, so they can just do exactly the opposite of what you do. Makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like she took that personally. Maybe it was, but I don't know. I wouldn't be pissed if someone did an inverse muck. I mean, at least someone's winning then.
I actually built. That's funny because I actually built an algo, and then I built the inverse of my algo, and basically said one of these two will make money. I can't tell you which one, but one of these two will definitely make money.
Yeah.
And I pick and choose which one I want to run on a daily basis. There you go.
Do you ever run them both?
No, because they literally would chop each other to bits.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. It's not bad. Do you run one, and if that's losing, do you stop it and then run the other one?
Yeah, so last night I got slaughtered on the regular, and so I flipped it over to the anti, and the anti has clawed back $1,400 of my loss.
There you go.
Yeah, doesn't quite make up for the loss, but you know, hey, hip hip hooray.
I mean, it's better than not having $1,400 back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess for me, it's just I think this market is designed to be overtraded right now, especially on the equities. And so when I feel like that, I would just rather stay out. And I just feel like it. And when I say overtraded, I mean I just feel like it's very choppy. So you're just gonna churn if you're day trading, you're just gonna churn yourself almost. And that's just the worst thing possible, in my opinion.
Interesting.
I always hate it if I make like 20 trades in one stock, and at the end of the day, I'm like my P&L's not negative, not positive, but now I owe money and commission. It's like, what did you accomplish? You didn't make any money, you didn't lose any money, but you owe money. So I hate that. Yeah, it upsets me. I'd rather lose money and then owe commission than break even and owe commission, if that makes sense.
Sure, that does.
It's a lesson I could have used a long time ago when I was, trading good size money. Is that just because you moved 500,000 shares around in a day, what did you actually accomplish? Just took money from here, put money there. At the end of the day, just commission. So, but yeah, sometimes.
Are you still sports betting?
I am.
How's that been going?
Good. What do I got on today? I have a parlay. I have a little $10 parlay. I had the Blue Jays, Braves, Detroit, and Dodgers all to win on the money line.
Okay, hang on. Let me take a look at that. Blue Jays, Braves, Dodgers,
and Detroit Tigers.
Okay, I've got the Cardinals, the Phillies, the Dodgers, the Rockies, the Sharks, the Oilers, and the Stars. $1.50 pays 170. 170.
That's not bad. That's a little almost a lot of baseball, a lot of hockey action. I like it.
Yeah, but I also pushed out my big bet of the day was Mariners, White Sox under 9.
You're looking good.
Well, they gave up a jack right there in like the first or second, and then everything else has been pretty calm. So
yeah, bottom of 4 or 2-0.
Yeah, I got to get through about 7 to start feeling good. The wind is 50 miles an hour here today, so it is absolutely howling. But because of the way Comiskey, I have no idea what the name of that field is anymore, but the way that field is, the wind is basically blowing cross, and so any shot to right field should get blown foul, and any shot to left field, good luck.
It's kind of like the opposite of Wrigley, right?
Yep, orientation wise.
Yeah, if it's blowing out in Wrigley, it's blowing in kind of.
Yeah,
and
they're both on slight diagonals, but
the big one I did today was I got Dodgers minus 1.5 Detroit Tigers straight up, and then the Tampa Bay Lightning versus Anaheim -1.5. 15 to win 107.
Oh, that's not bad. And what platform do you like the best?
Being in California, it's difficult. I like Bravada, or just I have a bookie from the Minnesota area that has a website that I use on. I like those two. I like DraftKings and FanDuel the best platform. I think they're the best, and then especially with the odds boost that they give, I don't think you can beat them. California did just legalize sports betting, though.
Yeah, it's going to be open in a month or something, right?
I don't know how they're going to do it with taxes. I know they legalized it, but they've legalized a lot of shit, and it takes years for them to actually get it implemented.
I remember the very first time I bought cannabis in California, because it was legal in California before it was legal in Illinois.
Yeah.
I had to like walk through like an armed guard in the back of dude, it was the sketchiest thing I've done in a long time. That was supposedly legal. So
well, we have a shop that we like to go to here called Mankind. But yeah, they have 2 armed guards and they walk you in. It's like a big shop. But the problem is, until our fucking federal government realizes that they at least need to make it not a Schedule C drug, a lot of marijuana places have to keep cash on hand till the end of the night.
You have to use cash at mine. You can't use a credit card.
Oh, we can use credit card. They have a credit card processing company. I don't know who does it.
No, you can use a debit card.
Okay.
But debit still sort of acts like cash. But
a lot of these big growers and stuff like that, you know, I have a friend who owns 3 private credit unions, like kind of like credit unions, and they take only marijuana money, but he charges a 20% off the top. So it's like, I mean, his business, if it ever gets legalized or moved down in a lower level, I think his business is over. But until then, I mean, 20% is better than keeping it in a safe in your thing that can get robbed, I guess. But
yeah, I guess.
We will be out in the big city in July. So hopefully we can all hang out. Hopefully you'll have to buy me dinner if May goes right and I get a 2-bit raise.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get Flipper to come bring his ass out. And
yeah. I think Mrs. Muck wants to meet him because she always gets she always forgets whenever I say 2 years. She's like, I need to put a name to a face.
Good point. How is Mrs. Muck doing these days?
Pregnant.
Yeah, I remember. It lasts a while.
Yeah, just try to, life varies between how much she hates me and how much she loves me, and then how much she wants to murder me. So, it's a thing.
Yeah, where are you currently on the spectrum?
Love.
Hey, that's great.
Lately. It's like, but she also has the thing that she really only wants to eat meat products now with the baby, but she doesn't want to help cook the products because she can't look at raw meat. She's just a lot of cooking for me. That's my only thing.
I mean, I heard you say words. It didn't make a lot of sense, but good luck with whatever that was.
Well, so she wants to eat like taco, like meat products, and normally like we cook together. But looking at anything raw on the meat spectrum makes her want to vomit. So then now I'm just taking over all of the cooking for lunches and dinners and stuff like that. So
got it. So what you're saying is you're the man, you're the man, you're the man.
Kind of. But I also just don't like, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of touching raw meat. So I'm just gotten over my shit. because she's pregnant and she'll stab me. So
This conversation is unintentionally overtly sexual. So we're gonna avoid the rest of it, and we're gonna stop talking about touching raw meat. Naperville, I don't know that number. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna let that one go. Well, fascinating. Here's my next question for you. If you got a gun to your head and you got to buy something today before the 3 o'clock close, what are we buying?
junior oil refiners like BTE, Apache, Devon, Canadian oil refiners, maybe.
And why are those your choice? I mean, I think that's a good call. I'm curious as to why you're there.
So I don't. If I'm gonna put fresh new capital at play and I can't touch it till Monday, I'd rather have it be already hedged and free to trade spot crude than anything else.
Do you have an opinion on spot crude right now?
Higher.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a shitty opinion,
No,
but
it's an opinion.
I mean, we're at 106. I mean, I would say 115. I mean, it probably by the 115 at the high and 95 at the low. I mean,
Yeah,
I think
where do you see that? Where do you see that ending? What's the end game in this whole crude debacle?
I think you're looking at an $80 a barrel WTI floor right now. I don't see it going below there. 150 on the high side. I hear people saying that like inflation adjusted needs to be like 185 for the highest of all time. I don't know if we get there. I can see their arguments to getting there. And I also hear idiots out there saying 300. I don't. The problem for me with oil is that oil goes into everything, right? Plastics, everything requires oil. But at a certain point, when do those companies stop buying oil? Just there has to be a high point, right? Where Bristol Myers is like, no, anything. We're not doing anything with oil. You know, our Mattel stops making toys with oil and tries to go to something different. There has to be a pain point where they're like, we can no longer make these things with oil being included in them because it's so high. I'm an idiot, but I think there is a point where companies would stop just having crude delivered, or even trying to refine more of a crude product to make other things. And I think that's probably around 185, $200 a barrel. And then at that point, if you really only have the demand on what? Gas and power plants? Because a lot of power plants run off burning oil to turn the turbines. Natural gas, that's a whole different thing because of Europe. But I think oil can hit a price where oil cuts its own demand, if that makes sense to you.
What's the extraction cost of a barrel of oil? Ballpark. I have no idea. I just Googled it and it's all over the place.
I think it depends on what kind of like where you're extracting it, right? Like if you're extracting it from,
if you got to go to the sands of Canada, it's probably whatever. I know that fracking and shale and oil isn't viable under about $80 a barrel, $85 a barrel.
Yeah.
But that also includes your shipping costs, that includes your barreling costs, that doesn't include your refining costs, but it also includes that's a lot of stuff. I'm talking about It's the second most plentiful liquid on Earth.
Other than water or salt water.
Right. There is no way oil taps itself out. That's
No,
my
I'm just saying I don't think it taps itself out. I'm just saying like that oil could spike so high that companies that use it as an input don't use it anymore. And that could cut demand on itself.
Sure. What about, you know, here in Chicago, actually the train line that runs along 290, which is the east-west corridor right into the loop. The train line that runs along here ultimately feeds all the way out to Montana, all the way out to Idaho. Do you know those trains come in every night? 60, 70, 80 rail cars long full of coal.
Coal?
Coal.
Oh, yeah.
It's headed to the southern end of Chicago, down in the Gary slums area. And there you've got a giant mountain that you would love to go sledding down in the winter. And it's coal. And we burn a piss ton of coal. Like, what do you think is powering your battery Tesla that can only can't even make it to the ski mountains that are close enough to Chicago without a full recharge? Like, honestly,
it's coal. It's coal or natural gas, right? Or oil.
it's
Because
oil. It's oil and it's oil. It's coal and oil.
Well, I know in California the two big plants around us run on natural gas, but that's still getting piped in from somewhere.
Yeah, probably offshore, right? I don't know. I don't know where nat gas is. I know that when I traded nat gas, the guys who absolutely killed it were the guys who were in Houston who were watching it come out of the ground,
Yeah.
sleeping next to Satan.
But yeah, it's oil and coal. That's what we burn to heat water, to make steam, to turn a turbine. I don't know. This administration seems like they don't give a shit what a barrel of oil is, and they keep wanting to double down on renewables, but it doesn't get us there. The administration before it said let's become energy independent. Moscow Mule said there's a shit ton of natural gas in Oklahoma. There is.
Yeah, but the problem is you got to get it into its LNG form. You got to get it into liquefied form
to ship it, right? Or you can just run pipeline. You can pipeline natural gas.
Where are you going to pipeline it to? We have a lot of problems building pipelines, even though they look clean and beautiful. But we don't have any problem strip mining the out of the land.
No.
To find new coal.
Or lithium.
Dude, once again, I listen to a bunch of podcasts a week, and most of them have a theological bent. My other gig is, yes, I'm a cussing pastor. Shit. No, you got to LNG it.
I was wrong. I thought you could just pipeline it. I didn't know he had to liquefy everything, but
I listened to this one on eco theology or something, and the impassioned speakers talking about how it's part of the believer's cause to really focus on like saving the environment and global warming. And at least the commentator was like, yeah, so why did Obama just buy a beachfront property in Hawaii that's only 2 feet above the water line for $40 million? Oh, because even if we cut all carbon emissions right now, it would be 50 years before we would see any benefit from it. I'm not saying we don't impact it. I'm just saying like the narratives are all broken. I don't know who to trust or who to believe anymore. And that's tricky. Maybe that's why Elon wants Twitter.
It makes sense.
But postmodernism has brought us that truth is relative, right?
Your truth. Postmodernism also has brought us your truth. So
that's right. Your truth,
even if there's a universal truth out there, if you don't believe it, your truth can still be right to you.
That's right. So what is universal truth going forward?
I don't know.
Well,
I mean, as long as it's still 2 + 2 = 4, I'm good.
well, that breaks down when I tell you that 0.99 repeating equals 1.
Yeah,
Even though it's 0.99999 repeating, it still equals 1. And I can show you the math to prove it.
non-rounding.
No. Because what does 1/3 equal?
0.333 whatever.
Yeah, so what does 2/3 equal?
0.67 repeating, 0.6677 or something like that. Like
66666. What does 3/3 equal?
1.
No.
Oh, it's 0.9. It's 0.99.
Right. So like I can make shitty math all over the place. That's what I do for a living, right? Like that's part of what trading is. You know, is ultimate truth just dollars and cents? I have an old partner who would always say that your intelligence is measured by your net worth. I think that's a really shallow way to think of it. And yet in a postmodern context, there's some reality to that, right? Like, oh, you're not important because you don't have any money. I mean, you're a Californian. How about the headline that came out of the LA Times yesterday or 2 days ago that 17 gangs in California have decided to target wealthy business people and rob them in hit and run. You know, it's like 17 gangs. You don't give a shit when they're blasting all over the place in Compton and don't care. As long as gangs are robbing poor people, you don't care. But as soon as they rob the rich, we make a big stink about it. It's a weird double standard. Once again, money's at the root of it. So I don't think Jesus was wrong when he said you can't serve two masters, and the love of money is the root of all evil. Not money, but the love of it. And so I don't know. Maybe ultimate truth isn't just money. Maybe it's something deeper. Anyway, sorry, I went on a podcast ramble.
No, I mean it makes sense. It like I think society now only really values your opinion on how much money you have, are managed, are accumulated, because like no one really gives a shit. I mean, I don't know. Take it back to religion. I feel like more people listen to what Rick Warren says and some of these other mega church leaders than what you say. You know, because they're like, oh, look at Saddleback. They have 85,000 followers and they have 4 campuses and blah blah blah. Like, I'm like, cool, but that doesn't make what he's saying better than a guy at a small little local church. I feel like it's
just so we're clear, I just sent you a text from my paid handicapper. You're going to be happy.
Oh wow. I can do that. I'm gonna parlay that. I don't know if it's good, but sounds like fun. I like
a lot of. Give me 1 sec on this. I got to figure something out.
No.
Okay, back to where we were.
He's got the Cubs. I do kind of like the Cubs today too. A little funness area.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever been to the Sportsman's Club over on Western here in Chicago?
No.
I got to meet a trader there tonight. So, oh, also my daughter is coming home tonight and bringing her boyfriend from college. This should be an interesting evening.
That should be interesting. How do you feel about that? Is it just kind of like, it is what it is?
Yeah, sort of. You know, it is what it is. You got to learn. You got to have a few relationships. You got to test out a few things. I like these calls, by the way.
I do. I just combined. I did the Toronto, Miami, the Tigers, the Angels under, and then the Cubs to win. I just parlayed that $10 to win $300.
Okay, the higher the number in front that I just sent you, the better the confidence
Yeah.
is.
All
I
right.
figured you'd understand that.
Yeah. No, sometimes like I'd rather when the markets suck, kind of like how they have been. Sometimes sports betting is just better.
Yeah.
Because at least it gives me something to watch more. And when it's over, I'm like, okay, the first game lost. Okay, we're done. On to other things.
Very fun. End of 5. I've still got only 3 runs in that Seattle White Sox game.
I'm liking it.
I better get into my app here. But before I place a whole bunch of bets, let's wrap this up. We're at about 45 minutes.
Yep.
I like your call on oil. For me, if I'm going to buy something today, I'm going to buy volatility. I know vol is up today. It was down yesterday. I know it's not one and the same. I don't think these moves are over, and I like being long. I think that market makers routinely take premium out ahead of long weekends too
Yeah.
much. And I want to catch the falling dagger. It's not like I'm catching it. I don't think I'm catching a falling dagger. I think I'm getting a free look at Monday's move. That's what I'm thinking.
I think, I mean, I feel like that's what we've discussed for a long time is that going into big events, our long weekends, vol gets sucked out because people don't want, or at least market makers don't want to have to worry as much. It's all, I don't know. It's really hard to have a rally going into a 3 or 4 day weekend. Because that means that people are going long into the weekend, which gives them time to just sit there and worry about any kind of news. I mean, if we can wake up tomorrow, Russia could have shot a nuke or a chemical weapon, and then all hell breaks out.
Yeah. Even though that's a different story. You can go read my Twitter thread on that one. I don't know if we got to the markets. I'm buying vol. You're buying micro. What'd you call them? Mini oils?
Junior refiners. So like non-Exxon sized refiners. What EOG, Devon, Vermilion, some more Canadian names. That's where I'd put my money. But you said gun to head, so that's
no. I 100% appreciate that. So, also our co-host is currently recuperating.
Oh, he's alive?
And, we wish him the best of luck. We need to get him back in the saddle here pretty soon.
Yep.
So,
and we'll try to find the bunker that Market Plunger's hiding in and get him a camera and some of that so we can get him on occasionally. It's hard.
Yeah, I would love that.
Could be covered in snow. We'll have to just dig it out. We'll have to figure it out. We'll hire some guys.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, I just got a text from my wife. I got to go pick up my little baby, my 9-year-old, and I'm out. You'll be inundated in this world soon enough. Looking forward to seeing you in Chicago. Next week is much easier. I don't have Holy Week on my schedule, so next week is much easier. I'm open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week. Let's get something on the books, and hopefully we get Bob and Plunger in here. Hey, and is it Mosca? Where do I put the emphasis? I want to make sure it's on the right syllable. Why don't you come on? Grab a camera and I'll bring you on because I'd love to hear your opinions as well. especially as somebody from Oklahoma. So,
Sure.
all right.
We'll set it up.
Yep. May goodness and mercy follow you all the days of your life, Muck. Moska. I got it.
There you
Moska. Boom. Peace.
Later, guys.